Hey, what's up? It's amazing how that always starts that way, you know, just drinking some water and holy shit, it's hot outside. Hello, everybody. My name is NikoTheLegend, and here is another episode of The Niko Show. I think we're on episode, what are we on? 24. Wow. Oh my God, we're on episode 24. So let's get everyone under wraps or up to speed. There's been quite a bit of talk in the gaming news this past week, and yeah, there's a lot to cover. Unfortunately, I mean, I wish I could cover them all, but you know how the news industry is and journalism goes. There's always new garbage every day. IGN. For some reason, I keep getting articles from them because they do have some interesting articles. So I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a fun, exciting, like next hour of your life being wasted hearing gaming news and topics from your beloved host, compadre, friendo, Sam of all time, Murloc type thing. Before we get into that, let's just go through proper introductions. Okay, so things that have been happening with me in RL. One step closer to taking the personal trainer exam, about 2 weeks away, right? Let's see, it's on the 31st, day 17th. Yeah, about 2 weeks away. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2 weeks away. Lol. So that's gonna be pretty exciting. I'm trying to, you know, look at me. I'm studying right now. I should be studying, but you know me. Priorities. Woo! Getting these priorities unbalanced or whatever you want to call it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we have been studying, or I have been studying almost every day to try to get that test done. I'm gonna do my best to ace that thing. I hope I don't have to take it again. I hope I don't fail, so I have to take it again, although it would be free of charge, which is nice. But, you know, let's just avoid that. But I can't wait to get done with this personal training stuff, to get certified, to go work at a gym and teaching other people how to work out properly and how to help change their lifestyles. You know, healthier lifestyles means your life expectancy will go up tenfold. It's just amazing. You know, you just got to push a little bit of weights around, and then your body's like, oh my God, I want to live for 10 more years now because I'm not sedentary. You know, I'm a working machine. You gotta make your body a well-oiled machine. You know, you gotta take care of it. You gotta respect it, or else your body won't respect you. And I mean, that's just common sense. If you don't know that, well, then you're lying to yourself and you're just being a little pleb. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing watching me? Go out there. It's super hot outside. You'll burn like 100 calories in like 10 minutes. Boy, it was a hot one today working out at the gym and then doing cardio outside. Oh my Lord. It was just like the sun just decided to hug the earth today. Oh gosh. No, everyone likes nice warm hugs, so the sun was really letting us feel that type of sensation. So that's what's going on with the personal training stuff. I finished my 4th short story yesterday morning, or yesterday afternoon, which was awesome. We just got one more short story to do, and then we can compile 5 stories into one to make a nice, good little book, and to publish it, get it on Amazon, start, you know, mass producing it, get paperback and all that. Oh, I'm getting the paperback. This is gonna be the real deal. I gotta get copyright rights and all that. I gotta get that stuff down. I gotta, you know, patent this. So there will be some spending. I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to get all this done, especially when money is a little tight right now, and I don't know the expenses on how much it is to get a book, you know, get some copyright protection on there, you know, get it patent so nobody steals it or anything, because this is gonna be the real deal. You know, I don't want anybody taking credit for it. Forget you guys. It's all me. It's all me. But yeah, we got one more short story to do. It's gonna be nice. I can't wait to get it done. I think we might be starting it not tomorrow, but maybe Thursday. I think we could start it Thursday. You know, in celebration of completing the story, I went on a nice. Well, it was nice, but it was also pretty hot outside. Not as hot as today. Not as hot as today. Today is just scorching in Florida. Oof, my Lord. But I did take a victory hike yesterday after being done because I needed the fresh air. I was like in the zone finishing this story yesterday. So it was fun being sucked in like that. Sorry, my face itches. I need to shave it, which I will today, and then I need a haircut. But it was a fun journey to get it done. It was a nice hike into Mother Nature land, just to surround me with the beautiful mother of all earths, Mother Nature. Yeah. And then I bought a thing of pizza yesterday to also celebrate, and I finished the rest of it today. Like, that's how much that story meant to me. Like, finishing, it was pretty crazy. I didn't smoke any cigarettes or buy some 36 pack of beer, but this was the next best thing, I guess. Plus, I didn't really eat. What was it? Yeah, I really didn't eat too much for lunch yesterday, or just food-wise. It was mainly the pizza, but I broke it down in particular to where it's not like I'm just like shoving all these bad calories into my body. Success. Now shove a pizza down your throat. That's good encouragement. But anyway, if you have your own way of celebrating, then that's good. Make sure it's a healthy way. But I went on a hike, so that was good. That was my double reward, I guess. I was double dipping. But I can't. Yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, I can't wait to get this next story done, and we're gonna be publishing my first book on Amazon eventually, and you'll see, there'll be a video on it. You'll see the links, or you'll have the links and all that. I will definitely have the resources available to you guys. So just want to say thanks for everybody who's pitched in on helping and proofreading and giving me a chance, buying my short story, my one and only short story that's on Amazon right now, Need More Lumber. If you haven't checked it out, folks, give it a shot. Check it out just to see what I'm capable of doing, or what I'm writing, in the medieval fantasy. And then while this book is going to go up, we can actually focus on our main novel. This was kind of like a side series, although it just seems like a main series because it's going to be the only work I have that's on Amazon. But not to confuse anybody, this is just something that I was really passionate about, and I really want something up there while I'm focusing on writing my main book, my main medieval fantasy book. It's kind of just to give you a taste of what's to come. Although different writing mechanics that went into these stories, like these short stories are all first person. My main book has like everything in between, third person, first person, second person, you get the idea. And the main book is way more, it's more heavily influenced by the medieval fantasy elements. Compared to these short stories that I'm doing, it's very, I don't shove it down your throat, because considering that it's first person, you'll get hints. It's very casual when it comes to the medieval fantasy elements. So it's good. It's like I know I did a good job with it. People that have read it said it's they really liked it. There's some grammatical issues, some here and there, because I don't have a professional editor. I don't have the money right now. But this book, I'm probably gonna have to find one, and pay them to edit my first book, because I really want it to be pristine condition. I really want the weeds pulled out. It was okay with the original short story on Amazon, because it's kind of like a demo run. But anyway, that's really exciting. We really dived into that, didn't we? But those are like my main priorities. Also, it's great to be, I know this is already something I talked about, but it's great to be affiliated on Twitch. To get somewhere slow and steady on there. It's just great that there's a possibility that I can make some type of currency from it, from doing my favorite thing in the world, is playing video games. So it's a completely different. It doesn't even matter how small or how big your income is on the channel that you're partnered or affiliated with. It's just you're still getting paid for it, and that's money is a huge benefactor and a motivator, of course. But it's just really cool to be like, man, if people like my stuff, they can subscribe to me, they can donate to me, they could submit bits to get emotes, which I'm still working on the emotes. I do apologize about that. They'll be coming eventually. But it's just such a great feeling. Like the feeling I'm going to be getting when someone subscribes to my content, and pays a monthly subscription to watch me, NikoTheLegend, be ridiculous and playing video games. Like that, I hate to be cheesy, but it's almost like a dream come true, you know, because this is something I've always wanted to do, especially on YouTube when Deal and I were doing the father and son / Scrub Pub thing. I mean, it would have been really awesome to get somewhere with it, you know, of course, because we probably would still be doing it, obviously, you know, but it's just yeah, it's just awesome to finally. I think I lost my train of thought on that, but you know, it'd be cool if it happened earlier or whatever. I mean, I don't know, who knows where I've gone. It was a slow and steady process for doing just Let's Plays on our channel and some skits, but you know, not skittish enough, you know. But on this Twitch thing, I have been given a chance to prove myself, and I think I'm doing just fine. We get plenty of great people that come in and check out the channel. So I do respect that a lot. I really respect you guys doing that. So thank you so much for that. Not to get all mushy and stuff, but you know, it's all thanks to the supporters and followers and friends and family. It's great. I'm not going to call you fans, and I'm not going to give you nicknames, okay? Like, it's all because of my Legends population. I'm like, no, I just call you friends and followers and all that, not fans. Or I really don't like labeling people in terms of, like, you're in my world, so let me give you your own nicknames and stuff. Like some people do, like for Gang Grumps, you get Grumpies or Grumps, or Lucagen, they call you Ginnies. Like, I don't care about that. I don't want to do that. That's just not me. And I'll never call people fans. If I do, I apologize. I try not to. Because it just sounds a little conceited. It's like, hey, everybody, look at my fans. They worship me. I don't think you guys are that at all. Not at all. There's a difference between fandom and support and followers. Fandom is just like, you're basically doing like signature autographs at a book signing or something for people. Those are considered fans. But people on Twitch and stuff that check out the channel and give me a chance and follow it, it's a whole completely different thing, because you know, you're actually trying to get to know me. I mean, you're involved in the community, you're involved in what I'm doing, you know. You're not just a fan, you know. Fans mainly are based on consumerism of how much merchandise someone buys and how much money they're willing to spend. That's why you always hear, I'm your biggest fan, and then they have like a statue of worship for this person, you know. Yeah. Definitely not. Now, meet and greets are a completely different thing, but that's when you can actually get to know the person. But still, it's still hard to remember people's faces when you meet, when you're a celebrity or something. You meet and greet people every day, and it's really hard to remember everybody's face. So hopefully nobody gets offended if that ever happens with me. You know, if I accidentally forget who you are or something. If you know, a miracle happens to where I become this celebrity Twitch streamer or something. Anyway, I'm done with that. That's just ridiculous to even say it. Oh, gosh. I would rather be a celebrity when it comes to personal training and writing books. Like, that would be amazing, which I'm going to make happen. Okay, so that's enough with the personal life. I got pretty deep into that. Let's talk about video games that I'm playing. As you can tell, what I've been streaming, we're still streaming Pokemon Heart Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke. We have 7 badges, which is fantastic. I'm really glad we keep losing a couple friends each stream. Yesterday, a part of the celebration I was talking about with finishing my 4th short story is that I streamed Pokemon for 4 hours, or pretty close to 4 hours, maybe about 10 minutes off, because we found a good place to stop and just, you know, discontinue the stream. It was a perfect time. So that was really fun. So like I said, thanks for everybody who stopped by and checked that out. It was good. It was good fun. The first hour was just ridiculous. The first hour and a half was just me grinding, but like the first 30 minutes of my stream, I was literally talking about my work career and how minimum wage jobs are just so beneficial to somebody's life and personal life, and just how much, just all the benefits of that, and you know what the cons if you don't have that experience of minimum wage jobs. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty fun. But yeah, we're playing Pokemon Randomizer Nuzlocke Heart Gold. This past weekend I played Neverwinter Nights. I know I was supposed to play for 2 hours. I played it for an hour, but I was pretty tired from work. Work gets pretty tiring when you're at the hospital dealing with all these screams, patients, and walking around getting all these signatures and verifying demos. It's just all kinds of stressors on you. It's especially in the emergency department. But I'm glad to at least try to get somewhere on it. And then, you know, the other game we played was Wasteland 2, which is a really fun game, a really great CRPG that knows its roots from old turn-based tactical RPGs like the original Fallouts, the original Wasteland, and you know, a lot of those big immersive games. You know, Baldur's Gate. It's great. It's really great. So you should definitely check it out. You should definitely check out Wasteland 2. You can get it really cheap on G2A. And then I'm sure it's on sale. But yeah, if you buy it base price, it's like $40 still, which is kind of crazy how expensive the game is. I think Brian Fargo goes a little too far with that. Like, that's kind of an insane price. For a game that's been out for 4 years, it's kind of insane. All right, so yeah. Oh, that's right. So we're gonna be actually taking a break from Pokemon next week, starting if I'm off, whatever day I'm off, and I have the game. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is that Mega Man X Legacy Collection comes out next Tuesday, and I am a diehard Mega Man X fan. I love Mega Man X series. I've beaten all the X games besides X7 and X8 for reasons well known, because those games are garbage. But, well, X8 is not as bad as X7. I mean, but I plan on doing for that week, for streaming, I plan to do a Mega Man X run on trying to beat all the Mega Man X games on the PlayStation 4. I'm going to get it on PlayStation 4 because I really like having physical copies, and the cover it's pretty cool. I always like Mega Man artwork. And I can't wait to go through these games again. I know I can just emulate it and play it for free, and I already have the original Mega Man X trilogy, or X collection for GameCube, but I'd rather just have it with updated not visuals, but just maybe visuals, updated fidelity, and all that. I mean, and it's one of my favorite gaming franchises. It's one of the franchises that got me up to where I am now when it comes to video games and you know, being well versed and really good at video games and all that, and just inspiration. You know, Mega Man X was one of those games that did it for me. The founding fathers, besides Mega Man 3. But it's gonna be great, and you know, then they're adding a bunch of cool stuff to it, like a boss rush mode where you fight 2 bosses at the same time from different Mega Man games. Like, that's just bizarre. But anyway, that's gonna be exciting. I know people are gonna want to see Pokemon, but I really want to do this just for a week, and then of course at the end of that week it's gonna be that next week it's gonna be the personal training test. I'm gonna balance it out all well. Okay, so we talked 20 minutes about myself. I hope you all are excited to hear what I have to talk about with video games today. I know that was a little long going into discussion, but you know, we do these weekly, and I try to do it weekly. I actually don't usually stream these in the morning or in the early afternoon, especially on the days that I work. But I felt bad for not doing it yesterday. I mean, I know I was doing that 4-hour special yesterday for Pokemon, but I was supposed to do the NIKO show yesterday. So this is just me making up for lost time. So let's get on with this. We have 5 articles. Let's see how long we can make it last. If we get through it, we get through it. It's fine. Sometimes the show doesn't last as long as I planned. Unless we have people in the chat, I can always fluff it up the best I can. All right, so let's start with the first article. So yes, I pull these off, of course, from different websites. They're not always all from the same place. I try to make it diverse. I try to make it different because I know how people feel about certain articles or certain websites, especially IGN.com, which I always have about 1 or 2. But it's the most common site to go to. It's easy, you know. I mean, I guess it's really easy just to look up video game news, which I did. But IGN, it's just a habit of going to the site because I've been doing it for so long. Although I don't really like IGN. Or maybe just the employees. I don't know. Fuck. So, let's start with Cyberpunk2077. How Cyberpunk2077 benefits from its tabletop origins. Soul and the New Machine. Steal from the best, but admit you did it. As a veteran designer for both tabletop and digital games, this is the advice that Cyberpunk creator Mike Ponspeth offered new game designers during a recent interview with IGN. He expounded, saying that you're not going to invent it all yourself, you're going to learn from other people. While this is certainly excellent advice for newcomers to the world of game development or just running their own tabletop RPG session, the idea also bolsters my faith in CD Projekt Red's upcoming Cyberpunk. It reminds me of how important it is that Cyberpunk 2020, along with several other versions of the tabletop RPG, came before it. Yeah, CD Projekt Red's no stranger to great RPGs. Before any of you go out there and start foaming at the mouth, this doesn't mean I'm calling either CD Projekt Red or Pondsmith and the R Talsorian Games team plagiarists or imitators. They've all proven themselves time and again to be incredibly creative, original designers and have wonderfully unique games. You can go play it right now to prove it, what I mean rather is that CD Projekt Red's ability to craft fascinating new stories in worlds with well-established lore like that of The Witcher is the perfect complement of the Cyberpunk universe, which pulled many threads of its own world from a plethora of dystopian sci-fi. The big trick I think Cyberpunk 2020 has done over the years, Pondsmith says, is to have synthesized many different cyberpunk writer styles, many different articulations of cyberculture into one place. It's easy to see the influences of authors like William Gibson or Philip K. Dick, though Pondsmith tells us he hadn't read Gibson at the time he created the first version of Cyberpunk, or even directors like Ridley Scott and Paul Verhoeven. In the pages of Cyberpunk 2020 rulebook, as well as the original Cyberpunk 2013 and subsequent Cyberpunk 23X, from the horrific socioeconomic breakdown of Night City to the dangers of cyberpsychosis, much of the narrative legwork has already been done for CD Projekt Red. Now they just have to decide what story they want to tell. The workings of the universe, how everything fits together, has already been established for them. It's interesting. What I love about the pen and paper game is the reality of it, said Pondsmith. We didn't just pull the ideas, concepts, and technologies out of nowhere. For example, when we did Cyberware, we sat down with a guy who was a neurosurgeon and said, how do we make this stuff work? How do we implant it? What's the surgical procedure? What can we get away with? The tabletop combat system, for example, is designed to mimic the frenetic pace and danger of a real-life gunfight, something that seems to have shifted mechanically in 2077. I doubt players would want their characters going into shock after one hit, but that ultimately serves to inform the development team and how the combat in 2077 should feel. Having this sort of resource available in the tabletop RPG, and Pondsmith himself, who spent several years developing video games for studios like Monolith and Microsoft, offers not just options to the 2077 team, but insight into what will and what and won't work. I could have looked at the issues that they were going to have to deal with making a video game as opposed to a paper game. Things that were easy to describe in pen and paper that would be amazingly difficult to do in a video game. And that is true. That is really hard. That's the saying goes. Some things sound better on paper, but it's execution onto like the big screen is like one of the most difficult things. Peter Molyneux knows all about that. Dog! The biggest hurdle, according to Pondsmith, right, the mic's on. Okay. Will be capturing the spirit in the field, not just the workings of the world itself. Developers can create a world that's incredibly complex when it comes to infrastructure or how technology works. But without the right spirit, there's nothing... Where am I? Okay, but without the right spirit, there's nothing keeping it from becoming just another grim sci-fi dystopia. What makes Cyberpunk unique is right there in the title, the punk. It isn't all grim, dangerous, and painful, he says. It's about the dark future he created for 2020. There's this sense of rebellion and fighting back, of hell-raising that should come with that. That's why Cyberpunk is not just cyber pain. From what we've seen of Cyberpunk 2077, the spirit of the tabletop game is alive and well. It may not have packs of cannibalistic cosplayers roaming the streets, but it seems to be the most faithful adaptation of the source material possible. As Pondsmith himself said, it's pretty damn close to what I would have made myself alone in a broom closet. That's awesome. So this is why CD Projekt Red is just so good at what they're doing. They know how to make these old school RPG styles fit into the realm of today with today's gaming and today's like how do I say it, like economy, you know, what gamers want in their video games, you know, how to translate it, how to transition it, or kind of not necessarily transform it, but just manipulate it and have it kind of change into something else, like a little bit, but still have the spirit of what, you know, these games are all about. And I think that's really the hardest thing to do. a lot of, speaking of Witcher 3, or speaking of CD Projekt Red, Witcher 3 was one of those games that follows what it's like to actually have consequence in a story. There was really no right or wrong answer in The Witcher 3. It may seem like that. For example, there might be something you have to do in Witcher 3 that requires you to do something good at first, but somehow it could have consequences later on in the game. That character could die, or that character, or this person gets taken advantage, or this town catches fire, bandits raid. It had those types of consequences, so it made you really, really think about what decisions to make. And there were some not quick time, but there were some moments to where you had to make a decision pretty quick. Those are like the hardest ones to do. And this is just something that CD Projekt Red is really good at making you feel like you're in the shoes of the protagonist. Now, I don't remember entirely. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the game has character customization. I don't know if it has a preset character model, like a face, like a Commander Shepard or something, or like like a default look that you're stuck with, like Adam Jensen or something. Or you can actually make your own character. You can be male or female. You can be a dildo robot or a scissoring robot. I don't freaking know. A cyborg. I don't even know if you're going to be a cyborg in the game. You could have implants. But it's great to know that, besides it being a first-person game, which I'm actually excited for. I think there should be more first-person RPGs. Bethesda's really the only game of one of the franchises that I can think of that follows that first-person RPG mechanic pretty well. Although you can go into third-person, but third-person in Bethesda games never look that great anyway. It's a poor transition, so I wouldn't suggest doing it. But it's great that we have these designers that have been in the game for so long that they understand that they're not, why fix what isn't broken, right? If this is something that's been working for them for so long, then that's great. And the challenge is to, like I said, is to transition it into today's technology and today's platforms. It's not text-based, it's not 2D anymore, it's not, hand-drawn, and it's not I wouldn't say it's as simple, but it's now it's way more complicated to do that stuff. I know it was probably difficult to program that stuff back in the day, but video games have become like a whole different beast these days. It's like literally like you spend hours and hours of doing this with hundreds of people on your team, compared to back then, like in the in the 80s or 90s, at least in the early 90s or something. There would be just small teams of just like 50 people or something, or 10. 12. I don't even know. It was all around like pretty small, like always below 100. So yeah, that's just the demand. So I can't wait till this game comes out. CD Projekt Red has been so fascinating, or so amazing with how they handle their business practice. Witcher 3 is always it's like such a top seller, always on Steam, just all like gaming platforms. It's such an immersive experience for a person to play, especially for an RPG. It's a beautiful game, fantastic characters, everything is done so well. Although I don't really like the combat too much because it's a little clunky at times. That's something they still have to work at, but I can work with clunky combat. Like, I'd rather have amazing story. I can live with amazing story over clunky combat any freaking day, any day. I mean, I'm the guy who's beaten Elix, and people complain about how clunky that combat was, but it was the story and the what it was really about in the world. Now, although I think the world in Elix could have been a little bit better, but it did have some really cool mechanics and interesting progressional system they were going with. Although I think it was a little too extreme at times, because I was like, how it's like, oh, I don't even really want to get into it. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but I beat the game. I enjoyed it. I paid maybe like $35 for it, and base price was $40. It was not to me it was, or maybe it was base $60, but I definitely didn't pay it. I paid $40. I can't remember. But playing games like Kingdom Come Deliverance, it follows heavily from Witcher 3. Heavily inspired. Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the best role-playing games I ever played. The most realistic medieval fantasy game, or medieval game simulator, whatever experience I've ever played in my life. It is a fantastic game. So it's like I said, it's really good to see how these guys like to make their RPGs still immersive. And that's the same thing with Brian Fargo with Wasteland 2. You know, like he's still making games that follow the old system of way things are being played, like Pillars of Eternity with Obsidian. Like I said, Wasteland 2. You know, games that still follow that old traditional gameplay. Divinity, Original Sin 2. You know, like. You just gotta be smart, you know. You just can't be lazy. You can't be lazy when it comes to making these systems. So I know we can go on forever on this because it's so much to talk about. But we will move on to the next article because yeah, we still have about 4 more to go. So this is actually coincidental to my not coincidental, but relevant to my life because I'm actually watching Castle right now, or you know, watching the series all together. I'm on season 5. And why do I say that? Because this one we're talking about Nathan Fillion, the star of the show of Castle. If you haven't seen Castle, you guys should really watch that. That show is really great. But we're talking about Destiny 2's Nathan Fillion. So Destiny 2, Nathan Fillion replaced by Nolan North in final Cade 6 appearance. It's really sad when that happens. The Nolan North Nathan Fillion role reversal is complete. Nolan North has taken over the role of everyone's favorite EXO for Destiny 2's third expansion, The Forsaken. Nathan Fillion has not reprised the role of Hunter Vanguard Cade 6 in the upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, The Forsaken, saying he was unavailable to provide the voice of the doomed EXO. Nolan North has stepped in to fill the role, making this the second time he has taken over for an actor in the series. So he plays the ghost from Destiny 1, and now he plays Cade 6. I mean, Nolan North is an amazing voice actor, don't get me wrong, but I really like Nathan Fillion, though. Nathan Fillion loves doing video game voice acting. You should hear him in Jade Empire. I thought that was bizarre. As a bad guy. It's bizarre. It was bizarre. Back in 2015, North took over the role of Ghost in Destiny, re-recording Peter Dinklage's lines. Oh, God. The Game of Thrones actor performance has received a share of criticism, but Bungie explained that the reason for the switch was due to Dinkley's availability. I wasn't available for this last installment. It's not me doing the voice for Cade 6, said Fillion on Kotaku Split Screen Podcast, confirming that he didn't provide the voice in the E3 trailer. No, that wasn't me. He said, it's in a wonderful, amazing turn of events, it's actually Nolan North. When asked about his thoughts on Cade 6, Fillion replied, how do I feel about Cade 6? I absolutely love him. How do I feel about the character dying? I don't personally believe it because he is a guardian. He should be able to come back. I mean, that's their whole thing, is that they come back, right? The whole thing is the resurrection. Yeah, that trailer is pretty crazy. When told that Bungie has empathetically said that Cade 6 is definitely dying, Fillion said, well, then, in that case, my go-to would be I'm really excited to work with Activision again, do the prequel. That's how we get to Cade's 1 through 5, Cade 6 prequel. That's what we need to start talking about right now. See, Nathan Fillion is so charming. In a very nicely timed turn of events, Nathan Fillion revealed a fan-made Uncharted film yesterday, satisfying the plethora of fans who have wanted to see Fillion take on the role of Naughty Dog's roguish adventurer, who has always been voiced by Nolan North. Oh my God, that's really funny. The 15-minute film shows Nathan Drake on a quest to find a lost treasure of the Flor de la Marazzo, and also stars Avatar Stephen Lang as Sully. Ooh, that's kind of neat. That's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, this expansion releases on September 4th. I don't know if I'll be getting it, but I mean, I guess that's okay. At least it's not like at least it wasn't a complete voice acting shift like they did with Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5. They went from, what was it? They went from David Hayter to Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, Kiefer Sutherland's a really good voice actor, or a really good actor, but it's just so night and day when his voice changes. I mean, you can't beat David Hayter's voice for Snake. It's too hard, man. But, you know, sometimes that's just what happens, and Konami had a good old falling out with Kojima during that whole process. That game went through hell and back. But also, it's like Sam Fisher with, was it Jeremy Ironside? It's always been Sam Fisher. And then in, what was it? Conviction, not Conviction. What is it called? The latest one, the latest Rainbow or Splinter Cell game that came out about like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Yeah, good job, Ubisoft. It was voiced by someone completely different, a younger guy. Although this was a Sam Fisher still like proceeding with the, you know, it was still a sequel to Conviction. So I heard they're actually getting Jeremy Ironside back and all that. So whatever. So I guess it just takes one game for everybody to be like, no. But this Nathan Fillion thing, I don't know if it's going to be a big deal for me. I mean, Nathan Fillion's a fantastic voice actor. I know he loves doing voice acting for video games or just anything, entertainment-wise, because he's a very talented actor. He's very nerdy talented. He loves nerdy like sci-fi stuff, video game-esque stuff. He just loves all that, and it's just great to see that he's done so much work for the gaming community and geek community. Yeah, this was nice to do. This was nice. Well, not nice, but this was, I'm glad Nathan Fillion is being really, kind-hearted about it. He's not like, no, I'm losing my spotlight. Nah. Oh, gosh. It's not like he's being traded to, like, another professional. He's like, give me more money and I'll do it again. Nah. I mean, who knows how many lines he'll have in the expansion. He's supposed to die, supposedly, so it's whatever. All right, next article. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So, 3 reasons the video game industry is bound for the blockchain. I don't know what blockchain means. That's a new term for me. So, this entrepreneurship stuff is going to just blow my mind, I guess. So, these are articles that have been posted wait a minute. Oh, I thought it said July 18th. I'm like, duh, did I go forward a time? As a millennial gamer, that's your first mistake. I'm always looking for the next console and video game to get my thumbs on. But my issue is that there's so many gaming systems out there with what seems like an unlimited number of games, but no efficient or easy way for me to search for the kinds of games I may be interested in. I did some digging into how blockchain technology could be applied to this market, keeping in mind the nationwide success of the industry. There's still no question that the gaming industry is fragmented in the 21st century. Okay, hold on a second. Now, if anybody's listening, just correct me if I'm wrong, but there are so many gaming systems. First of all, there's just 3. Okay, maybe he's generalizing. Maybe he's talking about those emulator consoles like the Ouya, which didn't really sell anything. I don't even know if that company's still in business. There is that Atari console. I don't know if that's out yet or it's coming out. But all I can think of right now is the Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. And it's always been like that for like the past 18 years or since 2001. It's 16 years. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. There's just so many. And then there's PC, of course. But, he's just talking about gaming systems right now. PC is its own other level, a whole nother level. Yeah, I said it. I mean, there's always been like 3 consoles out at a time. There was a time where it was, what was it? Sega, Sony, and Nintendo at one point. You had the Dreamcast, you had the PS2, you had the GameCube, or the N64. You had, the Sega, the Sega 3D or whatever the 3D Sega console it was. I can't. Mega Drive, maybe, I don't remember. And then you had the PlayStation 1. So I don't know. It's been like this for a long time. I don't know what this guy's talking about, but whatever. So let's get on with it. Number 1. Oversaturated market with over 2.2 million active gamers in the world. 2.2 billion, I mean. 47% of which, or 1 billion people, spend money. Okay? For the millennial demographic, gaming is becoming more than just a casual hobby. It's becoming a career. Why? Partly due to the large expansion of gaming genres allowing for developers to appeal to different audiences. With the emergence and trend of VR, AR, AI, and smart technology, an exciting future lies ahead for video games. The number of games on the market that can be played or downloaded onto what seems like a new gaming console every year is overwhelmingly stressful. Okay, there's not a new game. Okay. I don't understand what this guy's saying because Sony and Microsoft released their console around the same time for like PS4 and Xbox One, and then the Wii U was like a year before that or something, like 2012. And that's it. I don't really count slim consoles or like the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro. They're not brand new consoles. They're not the next generation. They're just like the upgraded version. It's like on roids or something. So I don't know what this guy's. And then the Switch was the last console that have come out in the past year, like brand new, in a new generation basically of its own. I don't know what this guy is talking about. Are you sure this guy knows? See, sometimes journalism is just the most stupidest thing to read because people are just so ridiculous. Okay, the number of games on, or right here, by the way, the number of games on the market that can be played or downloaded onto what seems like a new console game. Okay, we've seen that. Sorry. So right now we're on developers. There are hundreds of thousands of games created by hundreds, if not thousands, of developers. If you asked me the name of the developer of every game I own in my home, I'd be frozen in my tracks. Why? Because there's no rhyme or reason to really pay much attention to it. Most consumers stick to either the most popular game of their chosen console or ones they are most comfortable playing. But what's to be said about those games that go unsold and unplayed? Developers spend their careers trying to make a name for themselves in the industry, wanting to be recognized for their work. But if the average gamer can't identify them by name or work, this becomes a disservice and hindrance to both the intellectual party and industry as a whole. Well, that just means that, you know, I'm okay with people making video games, you know, developers. I mean, this is a free market. This is capitalism at its finest work. I think it's fantastic that everybody has a chance to create their own brand of gaming and universe. So I'm going to be okay with how saturated it is. Now, there are so many games that come out. Like, I get that. There are so many indie games that come out every day. I mean, you can just look on Steam. Every day there's brand new games coming out. And I can understand it. It's like, how can you play them all? Well, you don't have to buy them all. You don't have to play them all. You know, it's gonna really stick out to you when a game's gonna stick out to you when you know, if you're, you know, when you least expect it, or if you're looking for another game to play. So I mean, that's like saying there's too many books to read in the world. I mean, I'm not gonna play every game on this planet Earth, but it's the same thing with books. I'm not gonna read every book, or movies. I'm not gonna watch every movie. Doesn't mean it's oversaturated. Like, it's just that people have the ability to do this because, like I said, capitalism is an amazing thing, and we're allowed as citizens of the United States to not even have to get a proper degree to make a video game. If we know how to do it, if we know how to make a video game, we can do it. If we know how to write a book, we can do it. We don't need a degree for that. Anything artsy-fartsy, like creative aspect of things, you don't have to have a degree to make to do it. Now, to get paid for it, you might. Maybe if you're like an architect for like building houses and stuff, you would have to get a degree. But I mean, you can draw a house on a sheet of paper, and somehow someone could be like, "I'll pay you to have that built" or something. I don't know. I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, capitalism is contracts and, you know, property rights. There's nothing wrong with that, from having property yours and created and published. Now, some people just want to make a game just to make a game. They don't care if it does bad or not. I mean, I hope they do care. And most likely they probably do, but some people just like to just have something up there in the meantime while they work on something big, just to give them a taste. If they don't, you know, want to keep people waiting. But the gaming industry has been saturated for so long. Like, I don't even know what this guy's talking about. You know how many different games have been made for the PS2 and the PlayStation? Holy crap! The list is amazing. How many games have been made for the Super Nintendo, for the N64? I mean, the time when 3 consoles were out, which has been a thing since like the mid-90s, there's been oversaturated games for an eternity. So I know digital gaming wasn't a thing. VR thing wasn't a thing, although Virtual Boy was kind of a thing, but that fell off real quick. But just because, you know, you don't play those games that other people have doesn't mean it's oversaturated, or that, like, it shouldn't be stressful. Like, if you're a person that's out there that's just specifically literally going out there and just like setting yourself up, like, oh my god, look at all these games. I'm like, why do you even play games in the first place? You know what you're getting yourself into. That's like me going into a GameStop and I just have a nervous breakdown because of all the games. Like, I can't play them all. Ugh. Like, who bitches about that stuff? And the video game industry is making gazillions of dollars still. The only decline I've seen in the video game industry is by shithead companies like EA and Activision. That's basically it. But other companies like Capcom and Ubisoft have been making up for lost time. They've been doing really great lately. They've been making good profit. They know what their consumers are liking. They know what type of games to make. Again, you know, they found their way. Also, you know, 343 can be considered a break as well, as in, like, they failed consumers big time, but they still made a butt ton of money though. But I don't have to. I mean, I know big time developers for games. I don't know all the nitty gritty, but that's like saying, like, I have to know all the authors for all the books I read, right? Or who was the one that published this? Who was the one who did this? Who was the one that did that? It's not necessary. It's not necessary to know. If I want to know, I will know. because you know, it does help to know the names in terms of debates and arguments and all that. That's fine. But I mean, this guy's pretty silly. This guy's pretty silly. Gamers, it can become extremely overwhelming and stressful when you have a gaming system and looking for the next best game or series to start. There are an unlimited number of options to choose from that oftentimes I don't have the energy, drive, or patience to sit and research, while sites like IGN and other game review websites do a wonderful job identifying the reviewing games. Oh, that's a fucking brown-noser comment. Because they're not wonderful at reviewing games. The reality, too much water. The reality of it is that they can't get to every game out there. There's no efficient way to search per genre, developer, or title of the type of game I might be interested in next. Like I said, it's been like this for a long time, so it's not going to change anytime soon. So why is this article even being made? Some guy was really bored and wanted to just hear himself talk. Additionally, the inability for these upgrade systems to allow for backwards compatibility often leads me to stick with the games I already own. While there are many games common to most consoles, there are also many games that aren't backwards compatible or common. The most common example is the Halo series or the Star Wars Battlefront series, available only on certain consoles. Okay. Another major issue is that as new systems come out, downloadable content may not be transferable or available to the owner, user upon upgrading consoles. So what happens? Those games just sit on the console's internal memory or on a disk or a cloud storage, never to be used again. This is silly and a waste of not just resources, but an insult to developers. Okay, hold on. Let me read this again, because I know I kind of read it fast, but I want to truly understand this so I can add some input. Let's see. Additionally, okay, so he talks about backwards compatibility. Okay, so this wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, this is just another way for you to not miss out on the generation. You can stick with what the new generation offers, but you can also play your old games on there that you missed. I mean, you have your whole life to do this. Like, why does it seem like you're being boxed in? Like, I get what he's trying to say is that all these games are overwhelming, and it's like, it causes some claustrophobia. And I think we probably go through that as gamers ourselves. We kind of get into that claustrophobic perspective. But I don't think that's because of video gaming. That's just life, man. When do you have time to play all the video games in the world or do whatever you want on your free time to catch up on stuff as you get older, when you get to the real world, when you're doing a career-esque job? You barely have time for it. You make time. So that's just the way life is. As a kid, you were able to do whatever the hell you wanted after school. You could play games, go outside. I mean, it didn't really matter. Time wasn't that much of an issue for you. I mean, your childhood felt like a lifetime in itself. And as you get older, as you have families, as you have career jobs, as you know, you're doing this and that. Yeah, time does take its toll. You lose that free time to play the games you want. So that's the real thing. It's not video games. It's just life, man. That's just the truth of it. I hope he realizes this eventually in the article. But that's why a lot of people like me want to create something out of the time that I'm losing. And that time that I'm losing, I want to make up for it by actually creating something that people could, you know, experience with me, you know, like with writing or Twitch streaming or something, you know. I definitely don't play as many hours in video games as much as I did back, like 10 years ago. But that's just mortality, man. That's just my mortality rate calling to me. It's like, do I really want to just sit here all day and play 8 hours of video games? Although it's fun as hell still for me playing with friends, and I'll always be up to do it. But it wasn't like a priority as it was back in the day. I mean, there's so many different things that come to your life in 10 years, like I use as an example. A lot of stuff can happen. And yeah, relationships, families, kids, wife, all kinds of shit. So it's like, I wouldn't really I don't know if it seems like he's putting the blame on the video game industry, but it's like I said, it's been like this for a long time, despite not having digital or VR. There's been, even when I had all that free time back in the day, there were so many games I didn't even know about or play on when I was able to, when I had that time, when I had that motivation to just sit there for 8 hours or 6 hours, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, let's get to the last point. And then he talks about, it's like another major issue is that as new systems come out, downloadable content may not be transferable or available to the owner. I'm trying to think of when that actually happened, because with Xbox One, All the DLC I had for the Xbox backwards compatible games, I've been able to download it for free. I'm sure PlayStation, I don't know if PlayStation doesn't have backwards compatibility. It has a streaming service. The Switch doesn't have it. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. I kind of wish he would be more specific. Like, he doesn't really give good examples. I mean, the most common example is the Halo series and the Star Wars Battlefront series. Available only on certain consoles. Well, how do you expect consoles to sell when they don't have exclusives? Like, come on. Okay. Yeah, this guy's a little vague, you know, and a little late to the scene of this. This is something I probably would have been relevant back in like 2012 or something when the economy was really shitty. Thanks, Obama. So, content providers, platforms like Steam and Twitch have taken the market by storm. Yes, it's been doing that for a while. Go on. Steam, a multiplayer platform that provides for the distribution of online games and related media, allows the user to install their gaming software across multiple devices, as well as interacting with other members of the gaming community. Twitch is a popular online platform that also allows to watch and stream digital video broadcasts. Both these platforms and services start off as simple video game streaming programming device services. Imagine what the blockchain could do for this space. My immediate thoughts went to the potential for direct competition, but blockchain influencer and fellow gamer Justin Wu disagreed with my hypothesis. I don't think it's a direct competition in eliminating larger platforms like Steam, explained Wu. In true cases, the best use of this technology will actually be invisible and married behind the scenes for the consumer. I think they can coexist because the major consoles and platforms act as a huge asset in the industry. This technology will continue to create new assets, classes, games, and use cases for the industry. Oh my gosh, that was 1 point? Oh, Lord. Okay. All right, so let's just go on to the thing number 2. Glitchy user experience. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. So games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Madden require both skill and hours to dedicate. That is a complete fucking lie, but okay. In order to progress in these games, the gamer needs to grow their rankings, reach new achievements, and even obtain certain awards. Okay, no. It does not require true skills and hours of dedicated time to be good at these games. Okay, maybe Battlefield, because that is a way more realistic war game. And Madden is probably like, I hate Madden with a passion because it's so unrealistic with its terms of gameplay. Like, I don't care if I'm picking the Buffalo Bills and they have the worst stats. They're still professionals, and they somehow make the players drop the ball like they're freaking amateurs, or they don't know how to run routes or anything. They run around like a bunch of freaking chickens with their heads cut off. That's where I don't think that Madden really takes that much skill. But I don't know about the new Maddens. I haven't played it right now, so I'm just going by my last experience with it. When my friends were really into it, I really didn't. I don't care for Madden. But Call of Duty does not take skill and hours to be good at. Okay, I rage quit Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 because people were running around with dual shotguns and sniping me with shotguns from across the map, or like about 20 feet away from me. And then using all those lightweight, I don't even know, scavenger perks, whatever. So these games, there are so many ways to exploit a video game to be cheap and not even take hours to do. Okay, so I don't want to hear Call of Duty. I mean, you just listed all the popular games. Like, if you listed RPGs, then I'd understand, because RPGs actually take time and dedication to become masterful at. Like, especially like the tactical turn-based games like XCOM, Divinity Original Sin 2, Final Fantasy, you know, all those games. I mean, even like an MMO, you could have used an MMO. That takes hours, but Call of Duty, Battlefield, no. It doesn't take hours and dedication to be good at a game, unless you're just really bad at getting used to how a game plays. But with me, when I play games, I get pretty decent at it real quick. It doesn't take me long, unless it's Madden. Madden is like the only game I'm not good at. And that's why I can't stand those series, because it's just not a realistic. You know what a realistic football game was NFL 2K5. Yeah, 13 years ago, or 14 years ago. So, anyway, utilize his solution. Utilize the blockchain to tokenize games so that players are continuously incentivized to spend the time playing towards the end goal. It makes the experience all the more worthwhile. For example, why not set up a rewards-based program where gamers and developers are able to monetize off their gaming? Are you serious right now? The average individual is already accustomed to reward programs or incentivize, I can't say that word properly, sorry, programs both in the gaming sector and in the hospitality industry. Are you serious? So this guy, because he doesn't have time to play games, he's considering that what the blockchain should reward people for their skill alone. And even if they're not professionals or anything, if they're just good at games, they should be rewarded. They are already awarded, you idiot. What do you think achievements were for? What the hell? Like, remember when video games was just, the achievement was just getting past a level or beating a boss? Or, I mean, Dark Souls players, you know, Bloodborne players, you know. Anything, oh my God. Cuphead players, you know. The way to be rewarded for your hard-earned time and effort is to just getting good at a game that was difficult. Let it take hours. Let it do that. I don't want to be a player getting rewarded because he got a kill streak or something of 20 kills with no deaths. I'm like, is he gonna get that every freaking week or every day? No. I mean, maybe, possibly, if he knows the game from through thick and thin, but I doubt it's gonna happen. It's very unlikely. But that's just so ridiculous. That is just a cop-out method for the gaming industry to reward people who are claustrophobic, people who make up excuses for not being able to play the games, and they think it's all the gaming industry's fault. No, my friend, it's life's fault. If you have anybody to blame your life on how busy it is. You make your life hard. You do it. Don't make video games pay, don't suggest monetizing people for their gaming development skills. You know where that gaming development skills go? When they actually make a game or they go to tournaments and go to MLG tournaments and all that. That's where they get rewarded. That is where the true top tier players go, where they spent the most hours in. The best of the best. I mean, you don't even have to be an MLG player. You can be a Twitch partnered affiliated person. You can be a huge YouTuber playing games, streaming and all that and make money. And that comes from hard work and time. I'm sorry that we don't, with me personally as a gamer, I don't want that type of welfare. I don't want the government coming in and being like, well, you should be rewarded because you spent this many hours in the game. Although your KD ratio is not above 2.5, I think you should be compensated for at least trying. No. And the gaming industry will never turn into that. It will never do that. People would be infuriated. This is, you know what this is called? This is equal, what was this? Equal distribution of outcome or whatever. The one where everybody deserves to get paid, but if one person fucks it all up, then nobody gets paid. No. We want it to where specific people get paid for this shit. We want the best of the best getting paid for this. And I want that too, because it strives me to actually want to become the best. And in terms of anything, it doesn't have to be a video game. It's just, this guy is seriously, like, are we getting into like socialism right now to where he wants everything to be shared? He wants everybody to get paid. He wants all the resources to be balanced out. This guy doesn't like capitalism. I think this guy should really stop writing articles because he doesn't understand how marketing works. Because, look, people get paid for doing the things that they work the hardest towards. That's how it goes, okay? Now, if someone is getting paid because they put the time and effort and they're actually going out there and trying to make a difference with something they're doing, that's fine. I hope they get paid. But just rewarding people for just playing games and not actually stepping it up by expanding to other platforms, and you want them to get paid for it? A reward-based program? Like I said, the reward-based program is the achievements. It's the achievements. We're just like double dipping, wanting to get paid even more. Like, this guy is ridiculous. Okay, so I know there's a little bit more to talk about, and I kind of went on a little bit too long. We still had 2 articles to go over. Maybe we'll go over it next time. I'm not too sure. But the next 2 articles were going to be Germany bans retailers from listing video game pre-orders with vague release dates, and then meet the gamers willing to spend hundreds of thousands living their video game fantasy. So we'll actually just bookmark those. But anyway, folks, I hope you did enjoy. I've been your host, NikoTheLegend. This has been the Niko Show. I hope you guys, if you stop by, I appreciate it. If you like what you saw, follow me on the Twitch channel. Check me out on the YouTube as well. And if you want to join the Discord server with Niko and Legends, by all means, stop by. We can say hello. We can chat. Get all kinds of fun things going on. But anyway, thanks again, everybody. Bye.